With you, I was notified a while back about an effort this past Saturday afternoon, trying to clean up the area around the Licton Springs tiny home encampment at 85th and Aurora. Now, it's really on one part of a block. It's kind of a long block, goes from 85th to 88th. In the southwest corner, there's Jack in the Box, and then you have kind of a hotel, and then some office space, and at the far corner is a store, I think, called Seattle Fabrics. And then the tiny campment is kind of in the southeast corner, and then there are some other buildings. And a group of volunteers from a group called Unified Seattle and the Hands Up Project got together. I was notified about it. I was invited to go along, and I want to thank Veronica and Bob and all the rest of the folks who were there. I went out to see what it's like. And this is just one block around the tiny house encampment, okay, which is fenced off, by the way. And in the hour and a half it took for the 20 of us to clean up the block, we have a picture. I've got a picture that'll go up. I tweeted it out, and I put it on my personal Facebook. Got a lot of response to it. We collected about 200 used needles. Now, I understand the people doing the collecting wore heavy gloves and had those little picker things. You pick up things from a distance, and we had biohazard cases to put them in. But then we put everything together and took pictures. We had at least 6 hefty black plastic garbage bags full of junk, at least. And we did that, went around in teams, picked everything up, and we had people following each other, so if we missed stuff, somebody else picked it up. And by the way, Channel 13 was there. Thank you, Channel 13, the only TV station in town to think that's worthy of being covered. Everybody else, I guess, was at the Women's March, where they could hear all sorts of anti-Israel, anti-Semitic statements made by the leadership. But we were cleaning up the neighborhood. It's just one block, one kind of huge block, but still a block. Hundreds of used needles, human feces, used condoms, a lot of broken glass. I got the idea that those people that use those needles, those drugs, love Cheetos and Reese's peanut butter cups, because the garbage, some of the garbage where the needles were found, there are needles right outside the door of the store there on the corner of Seattle Fabrics, right outside the door. I talked to people in the neighborhood, and there are a number of business owners who don't want to talk because when they talk, there's retaliation. You see, the homeless and the homeless industrial complex have their own little Gestapo. Now, this is not, of course, not all homeless people, but there are people, for instance, the ones that threatened Christopher Rufo when he wanted to run for city council, threatened his wife, threatened his child, his young son at an elementary school. They have a Gestapo. And when you speak out against this, then they strike. Leslie, the business owner down in Soda, who was attacked by pit bulls deliberately by one of the people in the RVs down there, they have the Gestapo, and they do that. And so a lot of business owners are just silently closing their businesses and moving on. They don't want to raise any kind of hassle. But with the volunteers that were there, some of them were formerly homeless. I had a nice chat with Eli and a chat with another woman who was formerly homeless and said, there's a way out. You can beat this. You can get out, because they've done it. And it's with compassion, not contempt, and caring, not hatred, that these people go out and volunteer to do this. And I learned a lot from those people. I found this story fascinating. Talked to a woman who works in the ER at Harborview, where all the ODs go, overdosers go. Do you know if they bring an overdose victim and on your person as they're trying to save you, they find drugs? They take them from you in the process of saving you, but they save them for you, and they give them back to you when you leave. Yeah. Three syringes full of this and some bottles of pills of that. And while they're saving you from overdosing, and they take it from you because they got to get you in the ER and they don't want anything in the way. And then when you recover, as they let you go, they give it all back to you. Really? I guess it's your personal property, but wow, really? Some of the owners who have retail along that store, along that road, they have parking lots. And some of them are kind of small because they only have like 10 or 12 spaces because it's a small shop, but they have to provide parking for their customers. And they've had business people who come in to inform the owner, by the way, there's sex going on in a car outside your parking lot. Because the hookers who work Aurora, wherever, so you pull into a parking lot. While I was there, 2 businesses called, knowing that the group was going to be there, and said, can you come down a little further, just clean up our parking lot? There's a parking lot that's shared by 3 businesses. And when they close at 6, 7, or 8, it becomes where all the homeless hang out. And there are condoms and needles and God knows what else there. And they try to clean it up once or twice a day, but it's just not enough. And we were there on a Saturday, so they asked us to come down and clean it up. And Veronica took a couple of volunteers down and cleaned it up. It's incredible what you see when you go out there. And we have a lot of people who are in charge of homeless policy who pretends this doesn't exist, that this isn't really a problem. I had people in the neighborhood tell me that there's a cyclone fence around the tent city, the tiny home camp. Okay. And they can sit in their business and watch through the fence, because cyclone fence, right? So they're big holes, right? They can watch the drug deals going down. Either people in the tiny home camp selling drugs to outsiders, or outsiders selling drugs to people in the tiny home camp. Because remember, it's a no-barrier camp. They don't prevent you from taking drugs and using drugs in the Licton Springs camp. And they'll just slip the money or the drugs through the cyclone fence. So they never have to leave the camp to either make money or to get drugs to consume. This is what we're doing to these people. And the Hand Up Project is there, can get anyone who wants to get a detox, anyone who wants to start to get straight, anyone who gets a treatment, they can get you there within 24 hours. That's what they do. They're volunteers. And they wait around, they go to these camps, and they see if you want treatment. They'll pick you up, they'll transport you to the site, and you'll have treatment within 24 hours. Just not enough people want it. Those people running the homeless policies in the city should get out and see this. Go out with the volunteers who are there because they care. Because they know the real victims of this are the drug-addicted, mentally ill on the streets who fall prey to the criminal element of the homeless society. And they're the ones that pay the price. We're not doing them favors by letting them do this. They need treatment. They need help. They should get it. But the city fathers don't understand that. Go out on the streets for one day. You will. 329.